Welcome to the show. I'm Brian, your host. This is our pilot episode, which is going to feature my wife, Laura. We're going to have a little fun. She's going to have some drinks, and we're going to talk about ourselves for a little while. Because this is our pilot episode, we're still trying to figure out some of the effects and some of the background changes and things like that. So enjoy the video, enjoy the content, and let us know what you think. You can reach me at brian@burningdesireproductions.com. And here we go. Are you ready?
Yep.
Sit up. Pull your chair closer if you need to. Not that close, but. You all set?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
All right, you ready to do it?
Yes.
Let's fucking do it. Hi, my name is Brian Tutot. Welcome to Random Conversations at the Bar. I'm your host. With me is my beautiful wife, Laura. She's the one that's right next to me. Random Conversations at the Bar is a unique show. It's kind of an idea I've had for a while, and we're just kind of getting started, so it's going to be a little... yeah, it's going to be a little. But usually there's alcohol involved. Me right now, I can't drink because I'm on a new medication, so I do have a liquid beverage, but there's no alcohol in it, unfortunately. There will be when I'm when the doctor says I'm able to have some alcohol. But for anybody who is out there drinking, if you're on medication, be careful what you're doing. What are you doing?
Sitting here with you.
Okay. My wife Laura is having a fuzzy navel. That's one of her favorite drinks. I just did a video on a fuzzy navel. It's just peach schnapps and orange juice. That's all it is. When you see that bartender start to grab that bottle of vodka, I'd say, whoa! I don't want a dirty navel, because peach schnapps, vodka, and orange juice is a dirty navel. Mm-hmm. And if you have a dirty navel, I'm going to recommend you run to the restroom or wherever you're at and go clean that damn thing out, because nobody wants to see your nasty-ass belly button. Anyhow, so what we're going to do, this is the pilot episode, so we're going to do some shit. We're going to throw some stuff out there. And we're going to see what kind of looks good on camera. My profile does not look good on camera, so I'm going to try to keep looking this way. As you get a little older, the skin, well, anyhow, you don't give a fuck. But anyhow, so let's start with Laura. Let's, oh, I wasn't supposed to turn sideways. Shit. Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm born and raised Stuart, Florida.
And what coast is that on?
That is on the east coast,
I already knew that shit.
southeast coast of Florida.
I get that one away. Go ahead. Keep going.
Which is just north and West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Very nice, very nice. So, you've been born, and here we are. There's nothing in between. There's nothing that happened. You were born.
I grew up in Florida,
Okay.
primarily around my grandparents.
Tell us about that.
Grew up next door, got to go over there whenever I wanted to.
Well, listen, we don't want to know. For lunch in the fucking third grade, we want to know, like, hey, I grew up in, an average middle-class family. I went to a high school. I had boyfriends, girlfriends. I had a cat, dog, parakeet, chased by an alligator. Shit like that. Yeah. I'm sorry. Don't let me interrupt.
Went to South Fork High School, did barrel
South Fork,
racing.
like Dallas?
No, South Fork.
What was Dallas? Wasn't that South Fork?
No.
What was that? Didn't they live on a ranch? What the fuck was that called? South Park?
No.
Oh, that's Cartman. South something. I don't know. It was a long, 80s was a great decade. I don't remember. No, actually, it was 90s was a great decade. I don't remember much, but I know I made it through. 2022 now. But so you went to South Fork, and you had an average high school
Yes.
career.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I did junior RTC for 4 years.
Who's he?
Army junior RTC.
All of them?
No.
Hell. Now I know why she loves me so much. Oh, yeah. Oh. So you're in junior ROTC, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Did medical classes.
Oh, medical classes in junior ROTC?
No, it's just a separate class
Oh,
that
okay.
prepared you for your CNA license upon graduation. And
Listen, don't get. I'm just asking the question. I'm the host, goddamn. I'm just asking. Don't get pissy with me. But anyhow, so you went to high school and you went to medical classes and what do you do now?
I'm a licensed practical nurse.
Oh wow. Okay. License? Is that like an LPN?
Yes, it's an LPN.
All right. It's like a. Back in my day, we just call them LPs. They're kind of big and they just went around in circles.
No, that's not what a licensed practical nurse is.
Oh. All right, very good, very good. So, dashing right along. So, you became an LPN, and then what?
I did that after having 4 kids.
You had 4 kids as an LPN?
No, I
So
did my
is that what
LPN
happened?
after.
Oh,
I went to
okay.
nursing school after I had 4 kids.
We had to do something to have 4 kids. I don't think being an LPN is going to make you have 4 kids. But hey, you know, it is 2022. So, anyhow, and by the way, you know, all jokes aside, for those that are watching the show and actually have stuck around this at least this far, this is a non-political show. I do like to have fun and I do make a lot of jokes. And if I say something that offends somebody, tough shit. I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just trying to be funny. You have to lighten up. Everybody needs to lighten up. But this will not be a political show. My political views, what I believe in, what I don't believe in, besides maybe physics and things like that. You know, I believe in some things in physics and energy and stuff like that. We're going to talk about that in the third part of the series called After Bar. After Bar is where we kind of like do a deep dive into a little, some of my psychotic behavior. She didn't have much, but she didn't marry me, so you know, but in any event, dashing right along. So you popped out 4 kids.
So you got me all mixed up. You got me jumping all over the place.
Sounds like a wedding night. And I did say that with a straight face. So, but anyhow, so you know, during the course of your life so far, you've become an LPN. You've had 4 kids, and you've been married how many times?
Twice.
Twice. To the same guy twice.
3, because
All right, now wait a second here now. I remember.
I only count you once.
Wait,
Just because we got remarried doesn't count. I just.
Listen, I made it to the 3rd grade, so if we have 1 plus 1 plus another one, that's 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I married you, but I don't count when we got remarried.
Yes, you're on a long list of women, but go ahead. So you've been married 3 times, twice to the same man, because you just couldn't get enough. It's kind of like Nutella, you know. You take a scoop of Nutella, you think you can only have 1 scoop, and then damn,
You know
one
that goes
scoop.
both ways, right?
I didn't know Nutella went both ways.
No, I'm talking about
Listen,
us
hey, you
getting
do you, bro.
married.
You do. Listen, you be what you want to be. If Nutella wants to go both ways,
Oh, my
you know,
goodness.
sometimes it's new and sometimes it's Nutella. You know,
Oh, my
that's
goodness.
probably why they call it Nutella. So, but anyhow, so tell the 3 viewers that we have, and 2 of them are sitting in the chairs right here, and the other one happened to come across this website at 1:12 in the morning. Tell the viewers how we met.
We met at a homeless shelter in Vero Beach, Florida.
Okay.
You want me to go into details?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's probably why I asked the question.
Okay. I ended up at a homeless shelter in Vero Beach with my 3-year-old son, with my ex-husband. And he was
Your first husband,
my first husband,
not
yes.
this husband.
No, my first husband.
I'm husband 2 and 3.
My 3-year-old's father, who is my ex, my first husband. And he got removed for details we won't go into. And
Cut that out, Beyonce. But anyhow, so you. The cat. We met in a homeless shelter.
Yes.
You know where I'm going with this. First, tell the viewers about. See, I know. Well, of course, I'm married to her, so it's not like this is a guest. So I will have guest stars, but I know a lot about. I've seen her sleeping, so I know a lot about this woman. Well, tell the guests a little bit about the contest.
It wasn't really a contest. It's just a couple of the other females at the homeless shelter.
No,
I-
wait a second.
It wasn't really a
The Publishers Clearinghouse is just kind of $1,000 a day for life, this that's just a contest. Tell the viewers about the prize.
Me and two other females in the homeless shelter had our eyes on Brian, my husband,
Certainly.
and they had made a few remarks on who is going to be able to
Bag
catch his
that?
eyes, catch his eye, and get his attention. And I told him that I'd be the one that would walk away with him, and that's what happened. Wasn't really much of a contest.
I think we call that layaway.
It really wasn't much of a contest.
Layaway. You didn't walk away, it was like layaway. So, anyhow, of course, one day you and one day you happened to go to the beach.
Went to the beach a few times, yes.
And tell us, in Vero Beach, what kind of sights do they have on the beach?
Ocean views, seagulls. People laying on the sand, getting
Oh,
suntanned.
Okay, tell us about the people on the sand. Give us a little insight. give us a little insight into what you saw. Give us the bigger picture.
One day walking along the beach, she was laying on a beach towel,
Oh.
sunbathing. You?
Oh yes, yes I was one day. I like tan. I had a tan line that lasted 2 years.
Yeah.
I got it. The people are interested, I can tell.
You're sunbathing on the sand.
I'll help her out. Because, see, I don't get too fucks. First of all, not that I'm too old to get too fucks, but I never have. I mean, I do care. Don't misunderstand. But I was born in 1964. I've always been my own person. I really have. And so, back in the day, back in the 80s, I used to like go tanning. And I would always tan in a Speedo. And when Laura came down to the beach, she saw me tanning in a Speedo. Of course, she saw me tanning in a Speedo, and she, of course, said, "Yep, that's a jackpot. Not only is he the prize, but he's the jackpot." And we'll just kind of leave it there. But that I'm going to kind of jump down. I'm going to segue into a story about what happened once when I was in the 8th grade, and I was up in a small school in northern Wisconsin. And I was very naive growing up, very naive, and I didn't know much. My parents were both. We were raised in a decent household, but it wasn't the best. We were lower middle class, upper no class. My family members, when we go to the buffet, they'd be putting shit in their purse, just like they do in the comedy, like scooping up chicken and shit. But in any event, we had swimming class as part of gym class. And my mom and dad were divorced at times, and she didn't have a lot of money. So she had bought this white swimsuit that was on sale. And it was trunks. I mean, it wasn't a Speedo or anything like that. I didn't start wearing those till I was in my 20s. But the one thing I didn't know is that now you gotta remember, I'm new to the school. This is a town that has like 839 people. 800. Well, there's 839 residents. 9 of them are sober, and 830 of them are just getting out of jail. So that's the kind of place this was. But anyhow, it was a good city, though. I'm making fun of it. But in gym class, of course, I'm new and I'm trying to make friends. And I come from a private Lutheran school. This is a public school, and I don't really know how to behave. I don't know the lingo. I don't know any of these people. And so we go to gym class, and of course, I'm a pretty good swimmer. My parents did take us out to the YMCA for free swimming lessons back in the late 60s, early 70s. And, dive in the pool and swim my lap or whatever, and I get out. Well, like we were talking about, on the beach, when I was in the 6th grade, I became
Mature.
Yeah, that's a very delicate way to put it. I became very mature. I was actually teased. My nickname was the Elephant Boy when we were changing for gym class. But in any event, what I didn't realize though is that when white material gets wet, it becomes opaque, translucent. You can see through the shit. Okay, so now. But I didn't know that. I didn't get it. Didn't I don't. Why? Don't need to look down. I already know what I got. I see it all the time. Listen. I grew up poor. If I didn't wake up with a heart, I had nothing to play with all day. But immediately after that, I got invited to parties. I mean, we went to basketball games, and I had this girl that was hot from obviously. You know how that goes. Sometimes, you're in a situation and you don't see the situation exactly how it really is. I was naive, so I never even thought that I was like showing myself, if you will. And I can joke about it now, but I just realized recently, oh my God, I didn't never realize why all of a sudden I became like the guy at the party, All of a sudden I had, 2, 3, 4 girls, wanting to get with me, and they were getting to be friends with my sister, so they come over to the house, and blah, blah, blah. And, but that's kind of how life is, though, there's four different perspectives in any situation. It's going to be my perspective, what I see. This is going to be somebody else's perspective, what they see. Then there's the group, what the group is going to see, and then there's reality, how it really is. And I was really lucky to I was that way. I should get on this show. Born this way. Yep, born this way. But anyhow, I'll kind of start from the beginning. Like I said, I grew up in a lower middle class family. I tell people that from like the 2nd grade on, my mom was a waitress. My dad worked in a factory, so we had to get ourselves up for school. We of course. We were lucky to have a goddamn phone, let alone cell phones. I remember when we got a color TV. But we had to get ourselves up, get ourselves dressed, get ourselves out to the bus, and don't miss that bus. Because you're getting ass whooped. In the 70s, had them belts with them big holes in it, and with them metal loops and shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I don't have a tattoo on my back. It's just the imprints from the belt. But in any event, that's how I grew up. And I had some very close friends. And I grew up in a wonderful neighborhood. Now, I didn't know I grew up poor because I didn't know what being rich was like. I just thought that everybody kind of lived like us. But I kind of knew that we didn't have everything that other people had. But all the friends I had were just like me. Our perspective, as I was just talking about, was the same, We skateboarded, we played baseball, we played football. We were out until... the street lights came on. It was wonderful. And like Laura was talking about her childhood in Florida, a little different than mine. In one of the nice things about random conversations at the bar, especially when I do have a guest star that I'm not very familiar with, is we get to learn a little bit of what we don't know about somebody. And that's what a random conversation at the bar is. You sit down next to somebody, you say, hey, sexy beaver. Well, I can't say that, guys. I guess I can. It's my website. Sorry. That's a kind of a pet nickname, but I might leave that one in my head a little after. But hey, you know, pretty woman, that's so fucking hard. I'll tell you what I used to do in the 90s. Okay, this is what I used to do back in the day. You know, I had it down. I was smooth, man. I could make crumple up tinfoil flat again. That being said, it's a pretty woman at the bar. You're walking with your boys. Yeah, actually, we'd go to clubs. We didn't really go to a lot of bars. I like to dance. I used to be a very good dancer, not anymore. But I used to. OPP, theme song. But when you're approaching a woman, I could charge people for this. It's like top dollar shit. I'll tell you, 'cause I'm getting too old to use it. I mean, fuck nobody. Unless somebody's got a grandpa. It happens. Women have grandpa issues. Ugh. I don't want to be that issue.
No.
But anyhow, so a woman's purse or her shoes are something that she personally selects. Now listen, I don't give a fuck if she is as ugly as a fucking toad. I don't care if she is as flat as a fucking door. They are all pretty, just ask them. They have got that special mirror. They went to Disney World when they were 12. They bought that mirror that says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest of them all? And the mother standing in the next room goes, you are. It's a lie. Don't believe it. Listen, if you're ugly, you're ugly. But own it, you know? But anyhow, so the purse or the shoes. So what I would do in a very short story is I would go to see, you know, somebody I maybe wanted to get with, and I would walk by them and I would say, hey, I like those shoes, they match your purse. And then keep walking. But you gotta say it slow. I like your shoes. They match your purse. So everybody else, they're all up in there, hey baby, oh, you're so hot. Listen, even if she's not, she thinks she is. Why would you tell her something that she, first of all, is a lie anyhow. But the purse usually is a pretty good match. The purse and shoes. Usually, you know, women are pretty good with that. Even the ugly, whatever ones. But it would never fail because then I would walk away from them and I wouldn't say anything else. And then we'd go back and sit at the table with my boys, be out there dancing or whatever. And the girls now are into, who is this guy? Of course, you know, back then my skin was a little tighter. You know, I was a little bit thinner, not much so. And they would wonder, who is this guy? And, you know, everybody else, you know, is trying to get laid. Of course, I was trying to get laid too. I have 7 kids, so I must have been doing it right. But that would be the end because it was I never came in the front door. I mean, sometimes I went in the back door, but, you know, it's only if she said it was okay. But sometimes, you know, I would just, you know, say that and it would break the ice. You know, it was that icebreaker because everybody's kind of like, you know, everybody's trying to hook up in a bar. That's people are trying to hook up. But that's how we started on a random conversation. Goddamn, I got way off on shit that happened back in 1994. It was a great year too, by the way, 94. I was still in college back then. So, but anyhow, when you meet somebody and you have a conversation with them, that's one of the most important things that you can do in life. Having a random conversation with a stranger will teach you more about yourself. Now, you're going to learn about them, but it will teach you about yourself. If you're listening to them, everybody has a story. You have a story. I have a story. She has a story in one of them really small books that's got like 4 pages, but a lot of big giant pictures on there.
Seriously.
No, this is not supposed to be serious. I mean, this is not this part. After bar, this is supposed to be serious. That's when it gets serious. But I might still swear.
That would be the first
No,
or the last.
No, sexy beaver. Sexy beaver. Everybody say it with me. I didn't say it. But anyhow, so I went to college, joined the Army, went to college, drifted around, ended up in some horrible situations of my own making, and got out of them. We met in the homeless shelter, like she said. I had gotten clean. Not today, in 2022, I've been clean for no less than 21 years, no less. And I'm not really sure when I quit, I just know I did quit. And it's a good thing. I don't sound sober. I'm doing a show about alcohol and bars and meeting people, beavers. But, I'll say this, we go out to have a good time. That's why people go out. Hey, let's go out and have a good time. Okay. If you have to drink to have a good time,
That's when the problem is.
you're exactly right. That's when you have to check yourself, because you have to. Why do I have to drink? Now, I like to go out and drink and have a good time. I have a certain limit that I try to set on myself, and 99 out of 100 times I'll stick with that. Every once in a while I get a little loose. Laura's there. She usually has one, maybe two cocktails, so she'd be the driver. But anyhow, my point in this is you have to know yourself. But if you're drinking or using drugs because you're trying to escape from something, you're doing it wrong. You're absolutely doing it wrong. And talk to somebody, get some help. Okay, that's my public service message. Back to the fun. So, yeah, we met in the homeless shelter because I had gotten out. I'd gotten clean, and then I went to jail. When I got out of jail, when I got clean, I had warrants out for my arrest. So I had one in Florida for a bad, I'll say bad check. It's not really a big deal. It was a bad check. So I had to go to Florida to surrender for the warrant, so they could, squash that. So I did 2 or 3 months in one of the shittiest jails in America. And,
Rock Road?
Yeah, Rock Road. and I got out of that hellhole. And on my birthday, as a matter of fact, once I got out on my birthday, I've been in jail a few times. Nothing serious. I mean, they haven't convicted me of murder because you can't. They haven't found the body. You can't. They had to let me go. No, I'm kidding. Now I'm kidding. Really kidding. So, but anyhow, when I got out of jail, they had to put me into an ad. They had to have an address, and my parents didn't want me because I kind of screwed them over. So they put me in the homeless shelter, and that's how we met. And that was
2014.
Shit. Yeah.
I mean 2004, sorry.
Is that 8 years?
2004.
18 years?
Yep.
Feels like 100.
Oh, thanks.
Now I know what Dracula felt like.
Oh,
For fuck's sake. Yeah, it's alive forever. But no, it's been a wonderful 18 years. We do look forward to sharing more with you about this. We're not going to do a real deep dive into it. Again, this is our promo video. We're going to throw this on my website. We're going to see what people think about it. We're still kind of working on our editing situation, and I'm trying to do everything myself. And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to get a little serious here for a minute. There's a purpose to this, and I have to believe that everything that I've done, and how we've met, and the good times, and we've had bad times too. We've struggled. I mean, I remember, cashing in change, trying to buy something to eat. When we didn't know. We've made it. We're doing well, and we're happy, and that's all that matters. Whether you have material things or not, those things come and go. But when you love somebody, that's one thing that'll stick around for a long time. That's not what I wanted to say, but it just happened to come. I mean, I do want to say that, but that's not where I was going with this. I was talking about why I wanted to do this. I mean, I love you and everything. You let me spend the money, so you must love me. So, but I can't believe that everything I've been through, and Laura also, because for 18 years she's been with me, has been for nothing. I've learned a lot of lessons, and I'd like to share them with you. But we need to have some fun along the way. I do swear. And at some point, you know, when it's okay for me to have a cocktail, I'll have another one. But I want you to watch and I want you to listen. And don't worry about, you know, whether we're perfect or this looks like some, you know, highly edited, you know, professional video, because we're not professionals. You know, by trade, I'm a truck driver, and Laura's a nurse. We're not into the social media scene. What I am into is sharing my experiences, and hoping you can learn something from it. Hopefully, you can have a random conversation at the bar. With that, we're going to let you go. Now, I don't know which video I'm going to put after this. I did a video on, what did I do? What was that?
The old fashioned.
An old fashioned, which really isn't an old fashioned. I don't know if did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That wasn't its original name.
What was the original name?
Well, back in 1806, when you were a child,
I was not born back then.
I wasn't born back then either. But in the early 1800s, drinks, they really didn't make a lot of cocktails. Cocktails didn't come around to the mid 1800s, you know, kind of maybe 1820s to 1850s became real popular. And when I say cocktails, they were using fruit juices and absinthe and things like that to mix with the liquor. But drinks back then were called a sling. And really, it was just like rye whiskey was very popular in America. George Washington, as a matter of fact, produced his own rye whiskey. Rye whiskey has a current, by the law today, it has to have 51% rye grain in it. Rye whiskey, it's spicy, but it's a little bit drier than regular whiskey. It's a little different. Rye. When you think of rye bread, right? Fuck, who wants rye bread? A Cuban sandwich, you know, because it's dry. You
Yeah.
know, it's not fluffy like white bread. Fluffy? Bread's fluffy. You get what I put down. But anyway, old fashioned. So anyhow, and also the drinks didn't have bitters, but a bitter sling, which was the original name, it was called a bitter sling.
Okay.
Okay. It sounds like underwear that haven't been washed. It's a bitter sling. And then, I guess maybe like the 1850s, 1860s, when people, you know, started kind of missing what we call today just like a plain on the rocks drink, you know, like a whiskey on the rocks or bourbon on the rocks. They asked for something old fashioned. Now there's more old fashioned drinks besides what we call an old fashioned. And what an old fashioned is, it's just sugar, bitters, zest of lemon or orange, and rye whiskey. That's the original recipe. And of course, a garnish. But that's the original recipe. Now, I'm from Wisconsin. When I bartended when I was in college, I'm talking to people who drank up these brandy old fashions. But they'd always want soda in it. That's really not an old fashioned. That's really just a cocktail that has bitters and an extra cube of sugar in it. But yeah, I think it regionally, a lot of places are different. But in any event, watch it. Maybe I'll put the old-fashioned video after this since it. Fuck it. No, I can't. I just told them everything about it. They'll know. The whole intro is going to be blown now.
Not really.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do that. Listen. No, really listen. Check out Afterbar. I think I have a pretty good idea what we're going to talk about. And, well, actually, not what we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about. That's Afterbar is where I sit down by myself, and I'll probably have a cup of coffee then too, and we'll get a little bit serious, and we'll do a little deep dive. And we're going to be having our email, and our blog is going to be open, and absolutely, if somebody, once we get fully operational, you know, if you have a question, if you need some help, if you need to reach out, if you just want somebody to talk to, by all means, listen, do it. If it ain't me or Laura, reach out to somebody. But God damn it, have a good time. Thanks. That's it. That was fun. How long did that last? That's a lot to pull over.
Huh?